Good evening. Welcome to the latest special from Last Bell Boxing in partnership with Southbank Bar. We've got a special guest on tonight, Francis Croes. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Joined by regular presenter Carl as well.
Nice to meet you, mate.
So, for the people that might not know you, Francis, I'm just going to do a little bit of a lead and then we'll crack on, pal. Is that all right?
No problem, pal.
So Francis's career spanned from 2008 to 2014. Francis, if I say anything wrong here, mate, correct me, please.
Yeah, I will do, mate. No worries.
He gets a lot of things wrong.
Sorry, Carl.
I said you get a lot of things wrong, so you might be jumping in quite a bit.
You might be jumping
it's another problem.
2008 to 2014. Your career spanned from fly to super bantam.
Yeah.
You had 35 fights.
That's correct,
winning
yeah.
one and having 34 defeats, but that doesn't tell the full picture, does it?
No, I don't think it does in a lot of journeyman careers, to be honest, yeah. There's a lot of good talent out there for journeyman. Just if you don't have the fans behind you, you're not getting on the you're not getting a win, are you?
Yeah,
there's the same we used to always have in the way dressing room. You have to knock them out for a draw.
Yeah,
it is what it is, isn't it?
Exactly, and I think Carl will agree with me here. Without journeymen in the sport, boxing wouldn't survive.
Well, Carl's been at a lot of meetings with me when they used to get called in sometimes from the board, and he sat there and told them directly the bloodline of the boxing. Do you know what I mean? Well, you take these journeymen away from the sport, especially the good ones that can give the fighters a good fight and take them a distance. Take them away, you're going to get these prospects who half of them are mentally ready to be in a good hard fight anyway, fighting each other. Then they're just going to quit. And how many Croes or superstars are you not going to see? Do you know what I mean? Because of it.
How many times have you saved a show? You know,
I think I boxed Paul Butler at about, I think it was about a week, 2 weeks. There was been 2 weeks max notice, the short notice, and I know I lose 7 to 8 pounds within a quick space of time.
Wow!
But for that fight, I was just busy for 7 8 days because I didn't have a strength and nutritionist, or I had my coach. But for them 8 days, I was just running and eating apples and water, and that's how I made the weight to fight Butler. Which is no, especially on the same day of weighing, it's no good for anyone really.
No.
Do you think it's a better thing that weigh-ins an hour a day before?
Day before, I think it is, depending on yeah, it is anyway. Let's be honest with you. If you refuel, you can get your strength and energy back inside your body, and even the people that are dehydrated on the scales, and 20,000 not going to make much difference, but it will help them in the fight, won't it? So it does help, I think.
It's much safer for the sport as well, isn't it?
It's not safer, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get a lot when you're getting brain damage or late knockouts. The way Jamie Conlon went, was it Mick Conlon against
Lee Wood.
You see, obviously it was an hard grueling fight, but you see, he must have been a bit tight in the weight as well. Just go like that. He was boxing. The fight was close as, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
You could see Wood was grading every single round of them body shots. Catching up with him, but the way he took him out, I didn't see that coming, to be honest. I don't think many people did either.
So, Francis, take us back to when you were a kid. What's your first memory of ever watching a boxing match?
That's how I got into boxing, from Prince Azim. He was a showman, wasn't he? The way he used to do with the flip over the ring. Not only could he talk, he used to back it up, didn't he?
Yeah.
The only till he met Barrera, which is an all-time famer, do you know what I mean? He come unstuck, wasn't it? Nazim was the real deal. He wasn't like a lot of these showmen these days where they just talk the talk and they can't back it up. He backed it up, didn't he?
He got me power in the man's, didn't he?
Yeah, he got me into boxing, mate. And not only that, because I was 10 weeks premature born, and I weighed £3.17, but within a week I dropped to £2.7. So they put me in an incubator for 8 weeks, and I started having epileptic fits. Febrile fits or something like that was called, from 18 months to 8-year-old.
Right.
And the doctors told her mum that I'll never be able to do a contact sport in my life or live a normal life. So that was the main thing in my head, that I really wanted to do a sport like boxing. Prove people like that wrong. And then when I turned pro, I reckon if I met Carl Greaves a lot earlier than I did, I'd have done a lot better in my career. I met Carl really when I was already a bit more or less mentally a journeyman. I mean, I remember talking to Liam Smith at a show in Dublin, it was, when I boxed Jamie Conlon. He was a story for that fight as well. On the pads when I boxed Jamie Conlon, I dislocated my shoulder in the warm-up. I actually wanted to pull out of a coach at the time, who passed away, Graham O'Malley was called. said to me, if you pull out now, we were there for the money. That was our job, wasn't it? He said, if you pull out, you're not going to get paid. That's simple. So I went in a box, and after 3 or 4 rounds, I threw my jab. That's all through. I done it. It was on Sky or something. I don't know if you watched it. But for the full 3 or 4 rounds, I threw my jab, and I forgot about my injury in about 3rd or 4th round. I tried to throw a right hand, and I screamed down the middle of the ring. And the ref left me in that round. Let me go back to the corner and come over to me in the corner and said, what's up, what's the matter with you? And as a fight, you're going to deny it. He picked my right arm up, and I couldn't move it hardly. So he said he wanted to fight off. That's how I got stopped against Jamie Conlon. I was talking to Liam Smith in the hotel and after it. And he said to me, like, how do you do? Because you're not actually a journeyman. He said, because me and him boxed before I come, like, he was. Me and him boxed about 4 or 5 shows together because I was on at Olympia. And he said to me, you're not actually a journeyman. You come to win. I've actually seen you win some of your fights. It doesn't kill you. But I knew then it was just money, do you know what I mean? Because you're not getting it. You're not getting it in the way it shows. You're just not, unless you knock them out, or you can really go in there and like take the fight away from that lad and win every single round. They're not going to give you that. Any close fight, or even if the lad wins by 2 rounds or something. How many times have you seen Canelo Alvarez lose a fight by about 3 or 4 rounds and he gets it? It's money talks in boxing, doesn't it? Bullshit walks.
Do you get a bit disillusioned then, Francis, when that's going off?
Yeah, you do, mate. When it comes to, I'm put aside for Carl Greaves, he would get me good fights, and he was getting big fights, which I would have tried a lot harder if I met him no earlier in my career. Then that point in my head, I thought to myself, what's the point in me killing myself in this fight just to get them at the end of the fight to like not give me nothing? I boxed Kevin Satchel in Olympia. We got fight of the night. And I honestly thought I should have edged that fight. I could be wrong, jump me out. But in the fight, when you're in the close fight, I thought I took that fight. First one, the second time he battered me, he pinged me around the ring. But the first fight, I honestly thought I got it. And you don't get fight of the night in the way show for nothing, do you? Especially against Kevin Satchel, he's a hell of a talent, really.
Yeah.
I think he's the best person I've boxed.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly do. I've been in some good fighters like Paul Butler, Kevin Satchel, but at the time, from what I remember in that great fight, from the box, I'd rate Kevin Satchel the eyes, yeah. He's so sharp, like really sharp.
Take us back to your first, the first time you went into a gym. What was your experience like?
Well, I begged my mum because my big brother did boxing, and he did quite well in the amateurs boxing. He got a few national finals. He got stopped by Jamie boxing the boys' club final 1 year. So I always wanted to do boxing though because of him. Because my dad went to jail for drug dealing when he got 16 years. I was a kid.
Right.
So I didn't have a dad, and I looked up to my brother a lot. So I begged my mum for years to do boxing. She wouldn't let me for 2 or 3 years. Until the doctors give me very clearance, and it's okay. Like, if you want to try it, you can. But after about 2 years, my mum took me to boxing. I went to South Bank Gym. And the first people I seen in there who I looked up from, and I still do it, to be honest, yeah, even if I train from now, Paul Truscott, he was in there. And he was probably rather the best or one of the best in the gym at the time. I just wanted to be like him, to be honest, yeah. I used to watch him in amateur training and try things that he did. I used to want to be as quick as he was. He was sharp, he was really sharp in the amateurs. He did well in the pros, didn't he? He had a lot of hard fights. So he's probably the person I've looked up to most of my career, to be honest, yeah.
So you're in this gym, you're looking up to fighters. Did you go there thinking this is just going to build me up? This is going to give me a bit of spirit. Or did you go there thinking I want to be a boxer?
No, mate. I went there for the reason I had every intention from a kid. I've been a world champion. That was my dream.
Right.
I wanted to be a world champion. It's that simple. And I wanted to prove I was the best in the world. And that's why when I turned pro, I always had the attitude. I want to fight the best. I don't want to fight journeyman or sit about for 5 months not being able to sell tickets. No, I want to get in there. If I'm good enough to beat him, I'll beat him. Do you know what I mean? If the luck's going to be on my side, I'll get the luck. I could have a career like Sam Egg. He was meant to get beat, wasn't he? You know what I mean? He turned a journeyman career into a championship career, really.
Yeah.
But what's the odds in that? It doesn't happen often, do you? Like, I was very green when I turned pro, signed with the Fondue, Belgium. Is he from Belgium? He is, isn't he? You know what that is?
I'm not sure where he's from.
You know who he is, yeah, Fondue, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not over here that much anymore, is he? I don't think. So I signed with him as my manager. That was when he threw Graham O'Malley. Because Graham used to box for him. And my first fight was in Russia. Well, they call it Belarusia. It is Russia, isn't it? First fight was over there, 6-3s it was. And I went over there, to be honest, I was confident. I thought I was going to knock him out. Something like that. I trained as hard as I've ever trained in my life. I thought, this is a fresh start in the pros. I can do something. My style suits the pros a lot better than it does the amateurs. So I can do something here. I got there. John, out of everyone in our box, he's probably the lightest puncher as well, but my face was marked to pieces after the fight.
Right.
I thought he had something in his glove, but I don't know. But the reason I sort of froze in that fight was in the change rooms, throughout the build-up, even the week in the hotel and everything, I was confident as I knew inside me, I thought, I'm going to go, like, get a good performance here. It was live on Eurosport.
Yeah.
I thought, it was on you, so I had my debut. I thought, I'm going to be able to do something here. Like, I'll knock this kid out and I'll be like, get some backing behind me or something. Chris Riley, do you know him from as well?
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he turned pro professional at the same time as me. We trained together. He fought, like, there was him, there was a gap, then there was me on the card. And we were both meeting, we're doing 6 rounders. I think it was a 4-round heavyweight in between, which got knocked out within 2 rounds. But I thought it was because it was our first fight all as a team together, or like the experience and stuff like that. After he fought, because he got a draw, my coaches at the time just spent the full time like talking to him. And I got warmed up with him within about 5 minutes, before the fight. And that got in my head a lot. I felt like I went in there cold and not like. I thought like my coaches should have been not disrespecting anyway, because the coach, you know what I mean, one of them was a good mate, like he still is. So I don't think he didn't mean anything. It was just inexperienced, I think.
Yeah.
What they should have done is left Riley alone straight after that fight. Come straight to me, just concentrate to me. Then we could talk to both after it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That made me feel more important from the coaches, and I'd have been warmed up on the pads and stuff like that. And I went in there. I think I froze, to be honest. Yeah, I did.
What a place to go for your debut.
I know what I'm saying, mate. That's what I wanted to do, though. I wanted to be a world champion in boxing, but I only wanted to ever be called a world champion if I was good enough to be a world champion. I didn't want to sit here with like an Intercontinental belt or all these Mickey Mouse titles that they have. I've done a record of the 22 fights, 22 wins, but you haven't boxed no one. Like them factories count for nothing. Yeah. If I had a victory on my record, if I was going to become a champion, I wanted to be like, I'd say I am the best in this country. No one can beat me. You know what I mean? I didn't want to sit there and say, oh, I've avoided him, but I'm champion. That's not what I started boxing for.
And at what point did that mindset change, Francis? When did you have that moment?
I reckon it would have been not long after Kevin's, not long rather after the Kevin Satchel fight or after the Jamie Conner fight in Ireland. I think it would have been about then. Even then, I thought, because my coach at the time, it was Graham, who took me, just me and him went. I had suspicion, because he only, this way, I got £600 for 6-3s in Russia on my debut. £600. No, at the time, when you first turned pro, I thought that was good. You know what I mean? I thought it was okay. Yeah. Then I sat over the years, I started getting suspicions about like Graham, not his brother, I trust him with my life. I started getting suspicions about him, like dipping the wages and stuff like that. And they used to always, every single one of my fights, he collected my money after the finish. Oh, you got the ring, he's gone. You just go straight to the office and collect it. Then you come to me and says, oh, there's your money. I took my cut out. So in Ireland, I was already on him. Before the fight, I said to him, listen, Graham, so, I think it was Edwards with? Who did he? Was he with Frank Warren? Or was he with Matchroom?
Who, Jamie?
No, Paul Edwards. He was from Liverpool. He was British champion, wasn't he?
I'm not sure what promoter he was under.
I think he boxed Shinny Bian last show for the title, didn't he? If I remember right. I can't think who he's under though. It was whoever that was. It was them. It was a big promoter. I said to him, I think it was Frank Maloney. I think that's who it was. I said to him, tell Frank I want a receipt for this fight. I said, obviously, if the taxman starts catch up with me, I've got no receipt. You've been signed for money. Like, I could be start getting me receipt. He said, yeah, I'll get you a receipt. After the fight, obviously, with me injury and stuff like that, and he had gone. I completely forgot about it. I said, I've seen Frank for the money. He said, I've already got it. I won't worry about receipt. He went, I forgot to ask for it. We'll ask for it in the morning. We went back to the hotel room because they had an after party. I can't think it was top of that bill. I know Paul Edwards won the British title that night, but I can't think it was actually top of the bill. I can't think. It might have been. what's his name? Him from the brothers from your way as well, I think, Anna. Booth might be Jason Booth.
Yeah, Nicky Booth.
Yeah, Nicky and Jason Booth. It might
Yeah,
be Jason, I'm not too sure, because I know boxing is when he come out of retirement, stopped that lad with a British title.
Yep.
That was he's classing Jason Booth funny. But
Yeah,
I said to him, like, and sidetracked there. I said, get me. We went back to the hotel because I left. They had an after party for that, and I couldn't be bothering me. I was in a bit of mood about all this receipt, not only that, me and G. So I went back to the hotel, and he went straight to the bathroom, of course, and locked the door. And he had him ripping an envelope open, and not counting money out. He come out the bathroom. He said, "There's your wages. There's your money, fight money." I walked in the bathroom. There was a scrumpled up envelope at the top of the toilet with my name on it. That was my bank of rights that he'd been ordered for every one of my fights to be getting like money. So I left him after that and then went with his brother. That's when I left Fondue and signed with Carl. And I think by that point, to be honest, yeah, I was already like thinking, no matter how hard I try, as long as I make weight, that was me succeeding in my head, do you know what I mean? I never failed to make weight once. And I thought, as long as I make weight, that's my win in my head. I've got the fight, I was thinking to myself, what's the point of me trying my yards against this kid here and giving it 100%? They'll come to the end of the fight, they're not going to give me nothing. I remember I boxed one time, right? Chris Riley boxed in Liverpool, Olympia. We were both boxing the same night. So somehow my manager managed, because he was with us both, managed to get Riley on early enough for us to drive from Liverpool, Olympia to Wolves. And that's when I boxed. So what Riley boxing, Liverpool, Olympia, is what I'm saying. He boxed in Liverpool, Olympia. There's me sat there waiting, obviously nervous as fuck, sat there watching the boxing fight, which takes nervous energy out of you anyway. Don't just sat around ground and fight.
Yeah.
So Riley boxed, and we had to drive all the way to Wolves, and I boxed. As soon as I got there, Wolves, that's I had to get gloved on straight in the ring.
No way.
I boxed, I can't think his name, he was an ABA champion, he was unbeaten at the time for Wolves. I'm not even joking, I battered him for 4 rounds. I cut his eyes, I battered him. I'm not, like, I know I battered him. Never give me a round. Never give me a round. When I boxed Chris Edwards, I was at short notice as well. And my biggest fear at that point was that I used to always think, like, I'm not asked who I fight, I want to fight the best. But, like, it's also a bit embarrassing if you get knocked out cold early. You know what I mean? I thought, no, who I fight, you're not knocking me out. That was my main thing, you're not knocking me out. I pride myself on not getting, like, ever knocked out with an headshot. So I remember when I got the call to fight Chris Edwards, that was at really short notice, that. It was on Ryan Rhodes. Rick Yatton's built was in Manchester. It was called Show Champions. Ryan Rhodes topped it. Everyone on it had a title. And I boxed Chris Edwards on there. So I said to Graham on the phone when he rang me, he said, "Do you want to fight Chris Edwards?" The only thing he asked, "Do you reckon he'll knock me out or not?" But he was good, Chris. And I know he had a really good weight rate. And I was born with asthma. And obviously, I had epilepsy from 18 months onwards. But my main fear was my asthma. Like, I know he wouldn't knock me out with shot. I didn't want him to be knock me out where I'm not tired. I can't keep stopping from throwing.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing he asked, "Do you reckon he'll knock me out?" I said, "I don't think so, but you're getting decent money." The coach wasn't bothered anyway. So I took the fight anyway. Even before the fight in the change rooms, like, I remember one of the coaches in there, he said, "Didn't you box Kevin?" I'm sure the Chris Edwards fight was after the Kevin Sasso fight. And he said, "Didn't you fight Kevin Sasso at Olympia? We got fight tonight against him." He must have only seen the first one.
Right.
And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." He went, if it's you, then this should be a hell of a fight tonight against you and Chris Edwards. Could be fight tonight. This. That gave me confidence. No, going into the fight for in the change rooms, I thought, yeah, I'm going to go for it here. I got in the ring with him. He was tiny. I was looking at him. I could actually stop you without him. I'm not even joking. I know I beat Chris Edwards. He didn't give me a round again. But this way, at the end of the fight, if you do your research, be able to find out. I don't know who did the commentary on the fight. One who was a former European champion. I can't think of his name, but he come up to me after the end of the fight when I got the ring. He said to me, put your arms around me on the fight. He said, "I couldn't say the commentary, but he goes, don't worry about that fight there." He went, "I lost loads of my eye fights and he hadn't been European champion." He said, "You're good enough to win a title." And Ricky Hatton's mum and dad were actually stood up, clapping and cheering for me coming in the fight. Didn't give me a round, I don't think, because Chris Edwards either. I know, I beat him. Don't get me wrong, 35 fights. If I can be honest, I reckon I won about, they're all against good kids. I reckon I won about, if I'm being fair with myself, I reckon about 13, 14. I reckon I could have won or should have won. And a lot of them, I know, I'll admit, I got beat. Anthony Nelson, when I boxed him, he battered me. I wasn't mentally, like, I wasn't asked anymore. I was just trained to be even weird. And I knew my toughness and my cleverness could get me through rounds, get me through fights. I know when to hold. I know when to hit you on the slide. I know when to spit my gum sheared out. I know when to give you a low blow. I know how to get through rounds, you know what I mean? I know when to punch people on the side. I can have a leg to slow them down if they're good on the footwork or do it in hard. And they also, my first instinct was, whenever I knew I was boxing a puncher, and I reckon the biggest puncher I boxed was Lewis Browning. He made me see stars in the fight. My motto was every time I was boxing a puncher, would get on his chest, go at him. Yeah. My head, you're taking away their power. They can't load up and shot you all right in front of them on their chest. Need a bit of space, don't they, these big bangers? And so I knew how to pinch rounds, not pinch rounds, get through 3 rounds, and I knew if I was there, I could fit it like kidding. So,
Francis, in your 25th fight, you went up to Scotland and you was on the Ricky Burns, Terence Crawford bill, wasn't you?
Yeah, is that against Scott Allen?
Yeah, against Scott Allen. Tell us a bit about that. You got some stories from that.
Sure, mate. Yeah, John Greeno turned professional. I took him before he turned professional. I took him with me, right? And because the weigh-in was at the casino the day before. Oh, it was a massive shot. No, it wasn't. I'm lying. The weigh-in was at Finney, wasn't it? It was in a big shopping centre.
Yeah, that's
where
right.
that was. So I took him with me, and I took a few. I ended up thinking about 4 or 5 mates in the hotel, right? I almost got in trouble for sure. The night before, I walked around. I was just more buzzing about I was sat in the change rooms with Terence Crawford. Do you know what I mean? I've met Ricky Burns a few times. Never taught him, but I've been around him a few times. Same as Anthony Joshua, who's just up and coming. I never really rated him anyway. So unless I rate him, I'm not really bothered about meeting you. And there was a few other like up and coming stars or suits at the time, decent fighters. Scott Cardell boxed on the show. The only person I was asked about was Ricky Burns. I sat next to him, and he come in the change rooms, right? For the win. Because we were all, for some reason, they put us all in the win, in the same room for the win. And it was on a big, massive shop centre in the middle where I felt like a dickhead, mate. I wasn't used to stuff like that. But it was on the win. Everyone was in there, apart from Crawford at the time. Crawford come in with his sister, Letitia, whoever she is, and about 4 other people, and obviously his coaches. They come in singing and dancing. I swear to God, that's when you know this kid didn't give a fuck. He's in Glasgow. He's fighting the world champion. He's walking in a room full of foreign fighters. Doesn't know a single person in there. Even his full teams are singing and moving in like that. Just sat down, cool as fuck, Crawford. Sat down on the floor, put his headphones in, and just chilled. He didn't bat an eyelid. I knew then. I knew Burns was in trouble then. Someone doesn't come over from America. Ricky Burns is a good fighter. I mean, he's a world champion.
Is he either fucking mental or he's fucking brilliant?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I thought this kid's rather crazy. And he's going to go for it tomorrow, rather get banged out or just be off his nut, or he's going to be absolutely special. And it was the second one, he was special.
Yeah.
It was the best fight I've ever seen live. Unbelievable, Crawford. He'll beat Errol Spence with ease, I'm telling you. He'll stop Spence. No one will beat him at welterweight. I think he'll even go and I think he could even potentially stop Charlo. He's special, Crawford. He's special, I'm telling you now. Top 3 pound for pound, without a doubt. That's the show as well when I seen and watched Joshua live for the first time. You know he's novice at the time. I knew he's overhyped and he's not what the media and Head was saying about him. And
I think it was Joshua's 5th fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I knew it was early on, but he's already Olympic champion, wasn't he? He's a world champion. Do you know what I mean? You expect someone, even in the 5th pro fight, Olympic champion, the world champion. Was he a world champion? Or did he get silver medal?
No, he won gold.
He won gold as well on that. You expect someone with that caliber from the amateurs to be like a lot more technically efficient than he was. And his footwork, it's slow on TV, but Dean's slow live. Like, I'd say it'd be the easiest fight of Tyson Fury's career if that happens. He'll spank him. Won't he be an hard fight?
Are you surprised with how his last few fights have gone?
Oh, Joshua's?
Yeah.
I think he's lost his medal, mate, to be honest, yeah. I think once Ruiz chinned him, his aura of invincibilities went. He's believed, which I've got to say, it's not the punches on the chin that make champions go soft, it's a pat on the back. I think he started believing by that point, all Eddie Hearn's hype and all the media hype and everything else, what people were saying about him. And he didn't believe that, really, Tyson Fury's ever coming back. That's why he's calling him out away Fat Boy Wyatt. No one believed Fury's coming back.
You better hope he don't come back. You better hope he don't come back.
Pretty soon, he's destroyed Eddie Hearns and Josh's hand, hasn't he?
Yeah.
At that point, it was going plain sailing. I did not see Fury coming back. And Fury's come back and just stole the shiny. But I think against Ruiz, once he got chinned in that fight, I think he's lost his in his head. I think his mental edge is gone, and I think now he's fighting with a bit of fear behind him because he knows he chinned and be hurt, and he also knows he hasn't got the gas tank to go at it hard for 12 rounds. He knows that. He has to try and pace himself a bit, doesn't he? And what game plan? He's got an unbelievable coach. But who gives you a game plan to go and box against Usyk? Who's slow on your feet? He's not the best combination puncher, is he? Do you know what I mean? He's not like Fury and flick 6-7 out like quick and effective. So why would you tell him to go and box Usyk? You tell him to jump on him down his chest, rag him about, and just try and drain him for 6 or 7 rounds, and then try and bomb him out. You wouldn't tell him to. I don't think he'll ever beat Usyk though.
That was never McCracken's plan, was it, Francis? That was Joshua's plan.
No, I think yeah. I can't see McCracken. He's an unbelievable coach. He's probably England's amateur's best coach, isn't he? To be fair. Yeah. He's up there with the professionals, with the best we've produced. He's an unbelievable coach. I can't see Robert McCracken sitting there thinking we can outboss Usyk. No. Not a chance. It's different horses for different races, isn't it? It's different if you sat there with Fury. Then you think that. If you're Joshua, you think we'll have to bang him out. It's that simple. Going back to the Crawford show. Yeah, he was sat in the chair, he was obviously singing and dancing and that. And that night, I went round walking on the shopping centre. I got some nachos with chili on. And then, right, I woke up about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I swear God, I had shit. I was shitting all night. I couldn't believe it. My stomach was fucking crippy. But I know this kid's got, I knew he's a world champion in kickboxing, but that's a different sport. I knew he wasn't going to be bang me out well like that. I wasn't too hard on the bad stomach, but with my asthma as well, I tell my coaches and anyone who's in my change rooms not have any aftershave or deodorant on like that, no one to come in before a fight. Because it sets my asthma off straight away. Yeah. So I was getting wound up in the pads. It didn't mean any harm, but one of my mates who come with me walked in the change rooms because I'm going behind the scenes and that. He walked in the change rooms, all dressed up, ready for a night out, fucking stinking of aftershave and deodorant, didn't he? My chest went as tight as a virgin. When honestly, it just cleansed up like that. But that full fight, I was just struggling to breathe against Scotland. It was a good job that he wasn't really good. Good job, to be honest. Because I think if I was in with someone like Nelson or Satchel or Butler, I think they'd have banged me out because my chest was really that tight. It wouldn't have got me through against someone like that. He didn't know. All we had to do with him is use a good defence. And I knew when to feint. He didn't know professional boxing really. I've been in the ring all my life. Crean went the way I wanted to go.
Is it true, Francis, is it true that when they've got an heritage of kickboxing, they come from different angles?
Yeah, make the feet a lot wider. They don't naturally mean it. Sometimes, even if they do tighten it up, do you know what I mean? When your brain's off thinking and you're tired, they'll automatically go back what they're being learned. So that's simple. Same as anyone doing it, you go back to what you're familiar with. Yeah. These kickboxers, they do when they start getting tired, or you know your footwork and how to move around the ring. The feet get wrong. So it's easy to move around them a lot. Well, not easy, but it's easier than a boxer.
Yeah, I've heard that about Marky. You know, Florian Marky. He a lot of boxers.
Yeah, he's a kickboxer, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he does it as well. Doesn't even notice his stance. Yeah. Like when he starts getting flustered, his stance goes out. A boxer who's only been trained in boxing, when they get flustered, the stance is a stance, isn't it? It's that simple. When you get flustered, that's when you go back to your weak fit stuff, what you try to get trained out of, and that's what a lot of kickboxers do. But that's the only reason that I think I've got through the full fight in that fight. I got the pleasure of watching Crawford live, and that man, honestly, he's special. He is. He's everything to say and more him. He's underrated, to be honest.
Do you think he's obviously? I mean, he's already a two-weight world champion. Do you think he can move up?
I think he can clean up that welterweight where he's at now. I think he can win every belt. I don't even think Spencer's going to be his hardest fight. And then I think he can actually beat the champions of the weight above. Like, who are the champions now? Charlo and who else?
Charlo's got a fight actually on Saturday.
Charlo got 3 belts.
Charlo's got 3 belts. He's fighting Brian Costano.
Is that the rematch?
The champion.
Castano won the first fight, don't it?
It was called a draw, wasn't it?
So whoever wins that fight undisputed.
Yes.
So in Crawford's next 2 fights, he could be undisputed in 2 different ways. Couldn't he? If he goes to big fight Spence, he moves straight up. He could do that. Definitely, he's got the talent. He's got the brains as well.
Crawford's in a bit of a position where he can call his own shots at the minute. He's not tied down, is he?
Because he's that much of a superstar and he's proven it against good fighters. He can, but also in the downfall of Crawford, It's the reason he had to come to Glasgow to fight Ricky Burns. He doesn't have a big following, does he? Doesn't have the biggest
And he still does it now, does he?
No, I don't understand it, mate. In America, they don't like him. They don't seem to like him. I don't know why.
Just name me an American fighter that has got a big following.
True. Geronto Davis.
Really? Compared to UK equivalents?
No, we took over boxing, haven't we, really? We took over boxing with Eddie Hearn, to be honest, he smashed it.
They're a strange boxing public in America, aren't they? They don't follow like we follow, do they?
No, they don't. No, because they didn't appreciate Floyd Mayweather either, did they? If your face doesn't fit in America, it's one of them, isn't it? Like even Muhammad Ali's faced in the 50 years, did it? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? It is one of them. If your face, say that about the England squads over here, don't they? If your face doesn't fit, you're not getting on.
Yeah.
And now, I think we have got the best fans. We have got the best fans. I think we've put the best shows on. Like the atmosphere at Wembley the other night was unbelievable. But we're also getting as bad as everywhere else in the world, corruption and judges. I think we're just as bad as it was.
Yeah, I was actually going to come on to that. That was going to be one of the questions. So let's talk about that now. You've already said that there's been fights in your career where you've had to go away, which makes it difficult anyway. Yeah. And then you've got the crowd against you. And then you know in your heart that judges have not given you a fight that you should have won.
Yeah.
We've seen it obviously with Taylor, didn't we?
Yeah, big time.
Not long ago. That's been the highest profile one.
And there was a sad thing about that though. I'm sorry to interrupt you, mate, but the sad thing about that Catro Taylor one is Catro will never get the chance to fight for Undisputed again.
No.
Do you know what I mean? He'll never get the chance to fight for Undisputed again now. There's too many belts. No, it's not right. It's not fair. He'll never be able to call himself one. Doesn't matter if he goes on to win 2 world titles. He'll never be able to call himself one because that night, doesn't mean he's a better fighter, but that night he was better than Josh Taylor.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the same with me or any fighter I follow or support. I'm not bothered to lose as long as they lose fairly. Do you know what I mean? I'm not the same as a win. If they win, I want them to win fairly. Like Canelo the other night, I know he changed it in the press conference after the fight, but in the ring, I said to my person I sat with, Tartan, I said, if he says now he won that fight, I won't even watch him again because I'll just lose respect for him. In the ring, he actually said, didn't he, the better man won.
Yeah.
He changed it after, like...
Afterwards, he's changed his mind.
Yeah, apparently he has, yeah. In the ring, he knew he lost, but he admitted it then, so I thought I could respect that.
Yeah.
But Josh Taylor, he might beat Catro 7 times out of 8. You know what I mean? That night, he never won. He never won by about 4 or 5 rounds, did he?
No.
He couldn't get going. He looked drained. He couldn't get going. He just couldn't get into the fight.
Even the best fighters, in the world have bad nights.
Everyone has bad nights, yeah. Boxing doesn't make you a bad fight if you lose. You know what I mean? Like all the greats of boxing, everyone lost. Everyone.
Yeah.
The only reason it's always come so big is because of Floyd Mayweather. He's made it big, hasn't he? No.
What would you do, Francis, to change the way fighting's judged?
I think, truthfully, put 5 judges on, and also at the end of each round, make sure the fans and everyone can see the scorecards. That way, you're going to struggle to rob a fighter through the fight because the fans are going to say uproar. Now you can see. Let's be honest. When you watched Bivol, Canelo the other night, Bivol schooled him.
Yeah.
I'll take me off me because I thought Canelo, the guy on the inside, and stopped him late. I didn't give Bivol a chance. Bivol stuck to his fundamentals. He stuck to his long jab, his distance. He kept it perfect. When Canelo's on the ropes, he didn't fall for the traps and come in and unload. He never emptied his gas tank like Canelo tries to get you to do. He boxed unbelievable, and he won that fight. I'd give Canelo 3 rounds max, I think.
That's why I gave him. Yeah.
But by the cards, it was only 2. He lost it by 2 rounds. So that tells you if that Canelo had a few more closer rounds, they robbed him. They robbed the lad that night.
Or if Bivol wouldn't have took that last round, it would have been a draw.
Exactly. That tells you all, doesn't it? And that fight was never been a draw in a million years. Like, how could you class that as a draw?
I think didn't all of the judges give Canelo the first 4 rounds?
Yeah. I didn't give him a round in the first 4. Honestly, I think I give him 3 rounds over the full fight. And if you can give him 4, if you're being generous towards him.
Bivol was having the last word in all the exchanges as well. That's what I didn't understand.
Oh, mate, he basically took Canelo to boxing school.
Yeah,
he beat him up with a jab. So he couldn't get past that jab, but he couldn't close the distance. He couldn't get past the jab. Bivol's fundamentally he's rock solid, and he does everything right. He's got a beautiful jab. He's got nice footwork. He's got good defense. He keeps it nice and straight. And when he has to let his hands go, he'll let his hands go. And he knew when to let his hands go against Canelo. was letting Canelo hit him, hit his arms, hit his gloves, and then he was letting his hands go. But everything was behind the jab, the full fight. The jab wouldn't have fighted it.
He never looked in trouble, did he?
He did look like no, even in the war, like fighting someone like Canelo, he's a young kid, Bivol. He'd only had 19 fights, had he? Or 20 fights. He hasn't had many. So a young kid like that, to have that mental, I think the mental performance is better than the physical performance he did. He stayed so calm and composed. And even in the 10th and 9th round, even them rounds where he's catching Canelo 6 or 7, he didn't get carried away and emptied the engine. He stuck to the game plan. And that takes a lot more talent than it does that, doesn't it? It was unbelievable performance. I think he beat Canelo any day of the week. After watching that,
there's a rumor that I think Bivol said it himself. He's even prepared to go down to 168 and fight Canelo for all of his belts.
Do you know what? No, just smack in the face, aren't you? You just smack your ass at my weight, and I'm going to come down and smack your ass at your weight.
Do you think if he comes down one weight, do you think he does the same thing?
Yeah, because how's Canelo? He hasn't got bad footwear, but it's not the quickest, is it? He's never been really quick on his feet. He's one of the best counter punches you've seen in boxing in a while. He's unbelievable counter puncher, but that's because he draws you on, isn't it? He doesn't chase you down with footwear or cut you off. He draws you on and he catches with his unbelievable power. But how can he? It's the same answer why Joshua never beat Usyk. How can them two sort that footwork out to stop that footwork from the other fighter? Like
and also,
Tyson Fury,
168 and 175 is not a massive drop, is it?
No, it's about 6-7 pounds, isn't it? He said, Bivol even said, my frame is made for a lighter weight. I could go down there and like boxing for 4 belts. He beat him again, didn't he? I don't think Canelo takes that rematch, mate.
No.
If Bivol's saying I'll rematch you, but only at your weight, I don't think Canelo risk 4 belts in that fight. Not a chance. I think anybody as well with decent footwear and a world-class jab gives Canelo problems. It's been proven, hasn't it?
Do you think Andre beats him, Francis? Because we hear a lot of this on our show that Andre would beat Canelo. I'm not so sure.
I think that's a bit closer than people think. I don't know. Ward, he's unbelievable. But Ward's speciality is fighting on the inside, isn't it? That's Canelo's good strong point. You go like that's beating strong point against strong point. That obviously Ward's very clever defensively, but on the inside, that's how he busts people. He busts Froch up through, didn't he? With his head and his elbow. Yeah. He's very, very clever on the inside. But Canelo is. He's good on his feet, for Ward, but he's not sharp on his super sharp on his feet. I think that's a hard fight to pick up, me. I think if it got made up both in the prime, I'd probably edge slightly towards Andrew Ward. Slightly.
Cole Froch would have beat Canelo, though, wouldn't he?
Froch?
Yeah.
I think he'd give him a big fight, you know. Froch is a machine, wasn't he?
I'm not biased, but he'd have beat him.
No, I think he does. He's too big for him and he hits hard, Froch, doesn't he? Like, let's be honest, he carries that power like Lee Wood. That's why Lee Wood's come as good as he is now. He carries that power to the 12th round.
He can take his shot as well, can't he?
He's got chin of steel. He's naturally the bigger man. He's miles taller. He's got his arms are long and really long with Froch wearing it. Even everyone who used to box Froch used to say they're surprised how long his arms were when they're in there. Yeah. He had a brilliant jab, even though he threw from the hip. Somehow he was an unbelievable jab. And he had a rock solid chin. He do for 12 rounds. He bangs for 12 rounds. So there's every chance that he even stops Canelo late, isn't there? Canelo's only small.
Where would you take Lee Wood next, Francis?
Me, personally, he deserves a Santa Cruz fight in Vegas. He definitely deserves that. But I think Santa Cruz should be stripped. He's stalling like a Wood's career and everything else. He should be stripped. Wood should be made full champion. I think in boxing fans' eyes, in boxers' eyes, he is the full champion. I don't think people class Santa Cruz apart from the sanctioning body as champion. He should be stripped. So unless you can get Santa Cruz like a Ferguson, I'd do the fight again, mate. It's an unbelievable fight, isn't it? Like the unbelievable fight to watch that. You could watch that 6 or 7 times, man. It was an unreal fight. Like, before the fight as well, I think they even tweeted about it. And I held my hand up when I got it wrong because I thought this Mick Collins was his big opening chance, wasn't it? Like he's boxed headlines and shoulders and fakes, stuff like that, but this was his big chances. I thought he'd come, especially with the stick at the press conference and stuff like that. I thought he'd come with a stick on his shoulder, and then the Irish, you know, like when they get a stick on the shoulder and fire in the belly, the McGregor and that when he's prime, the gold on that can really go. I thought he'd come, I thought he'd just put a boxing mask on for 12 rounds, but Wood took that away from him, didn't he? He took it away from the power shot to the body shot. The jabs at the end and the body shots won the fight for me.
Yeah.
Slowly, you can see a lot of casual fans want to be able to say, well, if you watch boxing, you see Conor was slowly each round training, not only physically but also mentally. He's realising this kid wasn't going anywhere. So I thought, see the way Wood got put down early. I thought this fight would be over in about 4 rounds here. I thought he looked there, doesn't he? He's got to get the car cross, Jimmy. He recovers like that and he carries his power to the 12th round. Could be out of it. He could be very out of it, he would. To beat him.
Do you know what, Francis? Me and Carl going to bat for Lee Wood a lot on Twitter. Not just because we're Nottingham lads, but I still it baffles me how people can still not give him credit.
That's what I'm saying, mate. Like before did he beat the first fight?
Yeah,
I hadn't watched too much of him, but I knew it's in the stuff in the past. So I probably read too much into it. Well, I didn't pick a winner for that fight because I hadn't seen so much of Can. And if he is, he was awful that night. I can't. All Wood was Wood stole the show that night. I followed him after that because I thought he's got out and he's modest. He's down to earth. And that's why I like him. I've never met him, never talked about him, but I like the fact in every single interview he's down to earth. Even now on Twitter, he's down to earth. He keeps everything down. He doesn't believe. He doesn't act or go on like he's a world champion. Or he's just stopped in an unbelievable fight. Yeah, you wouldn't think that from the lad. You know what I mean? You think he's just the average Joe next door. That's why I like him to follow him now and support him. And win, lose or draw, I'll still follow him because this type of fighter won't make excuse at the end of the fight. I like to feel like that.
I want him to jump in with Warrington, Francis.
I think he stops Warrington. I think it's a good fight. It's a good fight, but I think Warrington now, he's had a lot of hard fights.
Yeah.
How many times has Warrington been stopped? Is it once or twice?
Once, isn't it?
Laura's he's only knocked out.
I banged him out, didn't he? Warrington, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of Josh Warrington as well. He might. I could be wrong because I've never really met the lad, to be honest with you, or talked, so I could be wrong, but I think he's not as mentally as hungry as Wood is, and that in these fights, that comes down to everything. Wood seems to me mentally really, really hungry. And even if he's like 6 rounds down, going to 11th round, he knows he's got a chance. And he'll put 100% into it for them to last around to get you out there.
Yeah, we've met him a few times at certain functions and whatever, and he is just a down-to-earth lad. What you see is what you get.
I think he's like...
He appreciates.
He's like a car frost if you use now these days. He's like he is a car frost these days. Isn't he? That type of fighter, like he can be outboxed. He's not the car frost is never technically the best. Lee Wood admit himself he's not technically the best. He can be outboxed, but they've got a granite chin, an unbelievable engine, a heart of a lion, and they will not stop. Until that final ball goes, they won't stop. And fights like that are hard to be denied.
The thing with Lee Wood is, Francis, he come up the hard way, didn't he? You know, he has. He's done the small.
And I think he's learned from that, hasn't he? He's learned from that. So he's had the hard fights, he's had the ups and downs. You know what I mean? He's had the experience of actually. Obviously, he's had a lot of home fights, but he's had the experience of having a hard, like still classes underdog or the way of fighting. There's a lot of these fights. He's had that experience, and when you've had that experience building up, it gets you ready for when you get there. That's why I always say the British promoters and managers get it wrong with all our prospects. Match them far too easy. Canelo Alvarez, Golovkin, Lomachenko, fights like that from day one in the pros. No matter if they lose, they match them up quite hard. So step away, they're getting mentally and physically tested. And by the time they get there, they're fucking there and they're ready to stay there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of our fighters are getting built up of too many easy fighters. They're knocking them around. They're getting there, and once they're there, they can't stay there because they come up against someone who's there and ready to be there. Unless you get a weak champion or a weak mandatory, which can happen a lot these days, kind of. But 9 times out of 10, when our champions get there in big fights, they lose. It's because of that mental edge. A lot of it, because it's not the talent, is it?
Hunger.
It's a mental part. Like we've got Carl Froch in the past, Ricky Hatton. You could add Lee Wood to that title name. Tyson Fury, fighters like that. Sonny Edwards, fighters who are mentally ready to fight the best and want to fight the best and win, lose or draw, they'll give it everything. How many throwback fights like that do we have? On an honest note, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's why when they get there and they come up against the big fights and the big hard fights, whether they're favourite or not, they don't win them because they're mentally, not the physically, it's a mental. You can't buy that in one fight. Do you know what I mean? It could take some years' experience and matching them up, right? Getting them challenged, matching them physically, matching them. So this fighter might be a drop my fighter. Do you know what I mean? But if my fight is what I think he is, what he thinks he is, what we want him to be, he'll go out and win that fight still. Them type of experiences, them type of thing you can't buy, can you? You can't sell tickets for that and get that. You can get yourself a title, but keeping it is another thing once you get there.
I just wish Lee would got the credit and the respect he deserved.
I think he will. I think he will, because Frost never did he. That's to late in his career. Frost never a first, did he? Let's be honest. Until Kawasaki retired, and Frost took out Beauty, after Frost started getting the respect and credit he deserved, he should have got all his career. I think once Lee Wood gets a few more fights, maybe Josh Warren in Santa Cruz, he'll start getting the credit and respect he deserves, because he does deserve it. He actually does, doesn't he? Like, for me, he's the best. He's the best in outcome reality's weight. I believe that, because I thought Mick Conlon would have beat him. Because Mick Conlon's no real talent. He's a talent. He's a special talent, to be fair. What he's done is around as an amateur, stuff like that. To take him out the way he did, you can't take that away from him, can you? You've got to give him all the credit he deserves.
I'm absolutely sure, mate. I'm absolutely sure that in the years to come, Mick Conlon's going to go on and become a world champion. Is that?
I do. I believe you. I think anyone over fight that night, he'd win the world title. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying about the inner car of Frost. Some of these fights from Nottingham, man, they just can't be denied, can they? Even Frost said it in that night. Like, it's just something I can smell it in the air. Just like night, there's something special going to happen, and Lee Wood comes out and does that. So
I'm conscious of time, mate. So just a couple more questions from us. One about your career, and then I'll get a couple of predictions off you about fights that are coming up, if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
So, bearing in mind of everything that's gone off in your career, the ups and downs, the things that you should have won that you didn't, if there was one thing you could change, what would it be?
Well, for once, for about five pro fights, for only about 3 or 4 of them I sparred. Or I prepared a lot better. I didn't spar for many of my fights at all. And for 2, I think I'd tried a bit harder to sell tickets just to try and give myself a chance. To be honest, that's a reality. Because Carl Greaves is one of the best managers in the game. He's one of the nicest men in the game. He tells you as it is. He's honest. He used to tell me, ring me, this kid's good or this kid's blah, blah. He'd tell me straight up. You know what I mean? He didn't bullshit. He'd tell you straight up. He checked me like a mate. I stayed at his house one time after a fight. He's one of the nicest gentlemen in boxing you'll ever meet. He actually is. I'm not just saying that because I used to be with him. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And not only that, he's one of the hardest working promoters out there. He deserves everything he gets. If I change anything, I think it would be like the sparring, trying to get like a bit more support in the early days. I wouldn't have went to Russia. I think that was just a mistake, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't have
went to Russia, but Switzerland as well.
I went to Switzerland, boxed their champion over 8 rounds. Boxed Jamie Condon and Ireland. Boxed them all, to be honest. Yeah, from my generation, I boxed the best fighters in the country. That's the way I wanted it. Even if I was selling tickets and I was doing well, I'd been wanting to fight these fighters who I fought then. But then it'd have been a different fight. I'd have had the confidence behind me. I had a team behind me. I had a strength conditioning coach. I'd have had what they had, do you know what I mean? It's even 50-50. I wouldn't have been going in there a few weeks of running, no sparring, and just my own diet, training myself really. I wouldn't have been fighting them off that. And I believe if I give them, some of them, the fights I did, off the way I was, if it was 100%, I know I could have done it, but it's no point even thinking about that. It's a long one.
So, Francis, we've got a question from a viewer. Now, this isn't your career, but what can a journeyman expect to pick up for a fight, money-wise? What's a good payday and what's a bad payday? On
average, for 12 minutes, I was picking up 1,300, but then you have to pay your promoter and your trainer. So I was walking away on average for 4 12s. I mean, 4 3-minute rounds, 12 minutes fighting. On average, I'd have been pocketing about 900, 800. Average. I think the most I walked away was against Usman Ahmed on Sky. That was a 6-rounder. I think I walked away with about 2,300 in my pocket after that. Yeah. But to someone like me who's doing it for a living, do you know what I mean? It's quick, easy money fighting. Getting out the ring, getting $2,000 under the year. Or 800 quid. Where else what other job can you make 800 quid on that? 12 minutes. That's the way I looked at it. Yeah. But it doesn't last forever. I wish I had better team around me, better advisors around me. I mean, instead of just living like a weekend millionaire off my life, off the money while I was getting it, because I was spending it as quick as I earned. I'd come up with a council state. I had nothing. Do you know what I mean? I was born veterinary. I was told I wasn't meant to do boxing. I had all these problems. I was just spending money, basically thinking it was going to go on forever. I never, ever in my life pictured me sitting somewhere where I didn't want to go and train or didn't want to fight. I thought I'd want to do forever. So I should have always had a backup plan. I wish that's the main thing, not having the right team around me. That's what I did change.
Yep. Brilliant.
Couple of quick predictions then, mate. This weekend, Tony Yoka's fighting Martin Bakole.
That's an interesting fight, that, isn't it? That's a hard question, that, mate. I don't know, because he's underrated, Bakole, isn't he? He is underrated. And I think the French kid could be a bit overrated as well, so I'd probably pick the French kid on points, to be honest with you. That's what I'd be going for, points for the French lad, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bakole pulls it off.
All the rumours around boxing is Martin Bacole's an absolute nightmare in sparring.
That's what I'm saying. So if he can transform his sparring performances to his ring performances, he'll win this fight. But see, how many fights are world class in the gym and they can't do it in the ring? How many fights are terrible in the gym sparring? Like Fury, apparently he's terrible at sparring. He goes in the ring and he can't beat the country. You know what I mean? So sorry for the language.
No, you're right.
There's a show on Channel 5 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's the first show with a Channel 5 Wasserman boxing. Larnus Idofu is fighting Denzel Bentley for the British middleweight title.
I fancy Bentley.
Bentley's a cracking fighter, isn't he?
I fancy Bentley, yeah. He's underrated.
I'm sure you've been looking at my notes.
No, I'll do, mate. He's massively underrated, Denzel Bentley. He goes under the radar a bit. I think he wins that fight. Who else is on that show?
Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly is making his first fight back after the Avanesian loss.
After Avanesian smashed him to pieces.
Yeah.
He bottled it on the scales 3 times before that, didn't he?
Do you know what?
That time when he weighed in, he pulled out the flu.
Three times the fight got pulled.
You know what happened there, don't you? He's weighed in, looked at Avanesian, thought he's no little divvy, he's not past it. He shit himself and pulled out. But Josh Kelly's got all the boxing ability in the world. Josh Kelly, he's hand speed and footwear, but he's a 4-round fighter. He's got the gas tank like an iPhone.
Do you know what I'm really surprised about?
Monster, innit? Evan Easton is a monster.
Yeah. Oh, mate, he's an animal, Avanesian. Massively underrated. And the Ferdy saying he's not a big foreign or he's not a big enough fight to promote with Ben. He's just trying to avoid him. I'm not saying he beat Ben, but Ben is actually the real deal. That fight is the right fight to put Ben in now to test him before he gets to the world level. That's a perfect build-up fight. Avanesian is arguably world class himself. I mean, so if you beat Avanesian, you know you're there or thereabouts, you're ready. Don't fight fights like that. Not only that could be a fight that goes down on Ben's legs if he wins. Could be a fight of the year contender or something.
Yeah.
It's a cracking fight that I don't know what Eddie N. He's not clever daft. He knows Nigel Ben. Conor Ben is his new Anthony Joshua. He's his golden ticket. He's not going to risk his golden ticket until he has to. That's the risk Anthony Joshua now, doesn't he? He's lost to Ruiz. He has to start risking him. He won't risk Ben yet. Not against him. I expect him to fight someone like Mikey Garcia, big name, but it was not a natural welterweight. It was less threatening power and size. Someone who Ben could overpower and bomb out in 12 rounds. A big name, but someone who it'd be gold. It'd be dust. It'd be in my eyes. It'd be dust sold as gold. His opponent. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a decent name, but if you look into it closely, he probably doesn't stand a chance in the fight.
And the last one, mate, from me. There was an amazing fight in Madison Square Garden a couple of weekends ago. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Unbelievable fight, that. I don't think you'll get a better female fight in the next 10 years, apart from them fighting each other. And before that fight, the reason was, I thought Katie Taylor showed signs of decline in the last few fights.
Yeah.
Not only that, I also believe that she does tend to gas, like Taylor. I think she's a perfect amateur fighter. That's why if that fight was 3-minute rounds, I don't think she'd have won it. Because it was 2 minutes, she was unbelievable. How would she go through that 4th round? Because I was backing Serrano to stop her late on with body shots. So get into her, stopping her with body shots late, because I thought Taylor won't be able to keep her off her for 12 rounds. In the end, I remember tweeting that night, I thought it was a wrong decision, but I looked at it, watched it again the next day, and Taylor deserved it by about 2 rounds, I think.
Yeah.
You couldn't argue if it was a draw. It was that good of a fight. But I mean, I'd say that 3 arms. Katie Taylor, she's Ariel Clifford Shields are the best fighters on the planet, and the females.
What about Marshall? Savannah?
Savannah Marshall's good, and people think I don't. People think I don't rate it because of what I say about Shields. But all I say is Savannah Marshall is good, but she's not proven yet. Do you know what I mean? She's not proven at that level yet. And the full career, not her fault. A promoter's done it. He's built her full professional career off of beating a 17-year-old kid, and obviously he's told her to do it as well to sell fights. If she beats Shields in that fight, all mental, she deserves to be there. She's that good. I mean, but until you go on to beat someone like Shields, you don't call yourself, don't say you're the best on the planet, or go talk about a fight you won when you're someone 17-year-old. Because Clarissa Shields, she's won the Olympics twice. She's multiple world champion in a few different ways, and she's proved it.
I do think she beat Shields, though. I think she's all wrong for Shields.
Do you?
Yeah.
But do you know what, mate? When they had that face together, they started arguing at the show. That's the first time in my head, I thought to myself, Marshall might potentially beat Shields, because I think she's living rent free in her head.
Yeah, I do.
And unless Clarissa Shields comes into this fight and does what she does best, is boxing. The reason why Floyd Mayweather never got beat, he never got drawn into a mental battle. If Clarissa Shields keeps Savannah Marshall out of her head and sticks to boxing, she can box her lungs off for 10 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever it is. But I think she's going to come in here and prove a point, because Marsh keeps winding up saying he can't hit and I'm going to knock you out. I think she's going to prove a point, come and try and stand and trade with her, and that'll be a downfall, because Marshall can hit. You're fighting Marshall's strengths, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I used to like adamant Shields wins that fight. Now I'm about 60-40 in favour of Shields still, just because of the boxing ability and technique. But I think that fight's going to come down to a mental battle. And the mental battle, Marshall's winning.
Yeah.
Francis, we're going to draw it to a close there, mate.
No, mate, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been brilliant having you on, mate.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Anytime you just feel free to get in touch. And anytime you do a live show or a few you're talking about it, I'll join in and that. Just give us a message, mate.
Every Thursday, 7 p.m, mate. You're welcome on anytime you like.
I'll come on next Thursday, actually, at 7. If I get the laptop, I need to buy myself a laptop, actually, if I borrow this one. But, mate, I appreciate your time, Anzi, you really do. And anything else you need to talk about, because there'll be loads of I've missed out there, but it doesn't matter. But I appreciate it, Anzi. So, anything.
Thanks,
any advertising not retweeting it, just let us know and I'll do it for you.
No worries. Cheers, fella.
See you later on, mate. See you later on.